So, I mean, one thing I've kind of thought in my worst moments and like, in moments of anxiety and stuff like that is like basically been thinking about, why does nobody ever want to call with me anymore or play games with me or like, hang out, just like, do something as friends, right? Why do people not want to do that anymore? And I mean, obviously the truth is, at least it seems to be to me, that just nobody has time anymore. Nobody has the time anymore. Um, and it's very, upsetting to think about, but kind of something that has to be accepted. But it also is like, something I don't think has to exist. And, obviously I could go into a whole political debate, kind of thing, but like, you know, I don't think it has to be that way, but it is. And, at least for right now, I mean, I think that there's no reason to assume things like that about people's intentions because I mean, at least for me, I haven't been doing a lot of calls with people. Yet I mean, the only reason I haven't been is because I've just been really exhausted a lot of days. Um, and I really, some things, at least for me and like me and anybody else kind of feeling this way should really think about, other people probably are feeling that same way. Maybe they really love you as a friend. They really want like, or maybe not as a friend. Maybe they're your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever. Maybe they really love you in whatever way, and they just something going on. They just can't right now. There's just they're so busy with homework. Their fucking finals, college finals I had to do, or like finals in any kind of like year of schooling, or like the job is really fucking bad right now. Got to do overtime or something, or like right now I'm having a really like I just lost my fucking house or something, which a lot of people were having happen to them because again, insert political discussion here. That could be for another video. Like there's plenty of things happening to people, and especially online. And again, going back to the first video I made, which I still think is probably the most important one I've put on so far, is like a lot of people, especially online, are just like like assuming that shit. Like it's like no, the reason is usually not just because nobody ever wants to hang out anymore. It's usually because they just can't. We just can't. And honestly, even reaching that conclusion, I'm still upset about it. I don't feel good about it. I'm like, that sucks, dude. Honestly, it would maybe even feel better if my friends were just choosing not to talk to me, right? Because that at least means it'd be possible, right? The idea that like we're all just so fucking overwhelmed that like we can't do it anymore. It's kind of upsetting. It is kind of bleak, but I mean that seems to be what it is. And I mean, at the very least, we shouldn't hate each other or like get at each other because of that. We all have to kind of realize that we're all kind of in our own kind of bullshit, and it'll cause those kinds of misses and you know um like being able to have hangouts and stuff like that. And I mean, I hope that in the future that stuff gets a lot better for people, when it comes to the economy and stuff like that. And a lot of my political beliefs are influenced by the idea of giving people more time and the ability to actually express themselves, do what they want to do, and like really like fulfill themselves in a significant way. And I mean, I really hope in the future that that can happen. But at least for right now, we kind of have to accept that we're all in this together. None of us are trying to fuck over the other. None of us are like, secretly hating the other. We're all just buried in shit. We're all buried fucking, up to our goddamn heads in shit. And we can barely breathe. And that's fine for right now, I guess. What are we going to do about it besides just keep going, right? And try to hang out when we can. When there's moments where we can call with each other, or, do whatever, we should take those. And when we can't, we can't. And maybe it'll take the world to change before we can suddenly start playing games together again, as like we did as kids.